to develop their product faster, and we needed lead generation tools that worked today. So after an exhaustive search for the perfect sales and marketing software system, knowing that that doesn't really exist out there, but knowing what we needed, and we're very similar to the kinds of clients that we represent, which are mostly small business and small marketing departments in bigger companies, we switched ourselves over to Hatchbuck, and we now encourage all of our growth-seeking clients to do the same. But today's presentation is not a sales pitch for Hatchbuck. I am not a big believer in doing webinars for sales pitches unless you ask me to, but it is a crash course on the why behind the imperative of marketing automation, regardless of the software platform that you eventually choose to adopt in your business, because it's nearly impossible to be in a sales business anymore without having this kind of a lethal weapon in your marketing arsenal. Todd, switch. I can drive myself. All right, let's see if I can do that. Let's click on the screen. I'm not switching. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today are 3 of the most common sales and marketing tasks that can be automated. And then I want you to compare our solution to how you currently handle these common tasks and see which way you think your sales would be propelled faster. There are probably 100 things that we could show you that we do, and for those of you who follow us, we're very transparent in how we do everything because we actually do what we sell. So if there is something that you're having a blockage with in your business, we've probably already figured it out if it has to do with digital marketing, because that's what we do all the time. We do all of our own stuff and it all works, and so we got very good at it. But if you have questions as we go on today's webinar, just go ahead and enter them into the GoToMeeting chat panel, and we'll take some as we go, and then we'll leave some time at the end to answer some more questions. And you don't need to take any notes because we will be posting the recording and making the slides available to everyone who registered. So just as a kind of a starter, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but the purpose of CRM, and I'm building up to marketing automation because everybody must have CRM as a foundational tool, and marketing automation gets added on to that. And so everybody knows for CRM, the purpose of it is to manage your sales opportunities. If you've got a sales force, you need some kind of standardization and automation system so that everybody's kind of doing the same thing when they're out representing your company. You may have some special sales promotions and you want to be able to advertise them, and you need to be able to go into the database, pick out the targeted audience that would be right for that sales promotion, and then send your sales team out there to sell it, and of course deal with customer service on the back end of a sale. So obviously there are a lot more things that CRM is for as well, but those are kind of the high points. And the problem with CRM only is that you cannot manage what you can't see. And by 2020, by the year 2020, Gartner Research, which is a national or international marketing research company, Gartner estimates that 85% of customers are going to manage their relationships with their vendors without talking to a human. That's just unbelievable. In fact, I went to a conference earlier this year, which was a sales and marketing CRM conference, and they talked about how international companies, huge, big international companies, are now thinking about how they're going to be able to do business without a sales team because nobody wants to talk to salespeople anymore. And they're making, like, salespeople will be, have their roles dramatically changed. They don't know what that's going to look like. They don't think it'll be no salespeople ever. Some human contact is required, but their role is going to have to change substantially because the traditional model for the salesperson making sales calls and doing phone dial-ups isn't working the way that it used to. And we actually see that in our own company now, the Database Diva, when we get new website leads and we try to follow up with them, crickets, nothing. Nobody returns our phone calls, they don't email us back, and they were the ones who are contacting us. They asked for information from us, but then they don't want to talk to us. So the best we can do in most cases is make a connection with them on LinkedIn, but if we stop there, all that interest dries up. So here are, we're representative of most companies who are spending a ton of money on lead generation, generating the leads, but then not being able to take it to the next step. And that's where marketing automation comes in. So these are the top three ways that marketing automation is used. And targeted emails, okay, that's probably the lowest level of use of a marketing automation system. If that's all you used your marketing automation system for, it'd be very expensive just to send out targeted emails. But 89% of all marketers say email is their primary channel for lead generation, and I know that's true for us. It's a good start, but that alone won't take you as far as you could go with automating more of your sales process through nurture campaigns and triggers and workflows. And only about 4% of the people who visit your site on any given day are ready to buy now. Everybody else is at some other stage in the sales process of doing their due diligence, looking for the best deal, trying to find out from review sites if you're worthy of giving business to, all of those kinds of things. But if you spend time in your business putting together triggers and workflows, and I'm going to talk in a little bit about what a triggered event is, but if you have all of that nailed down, the stat is nurtured leads make 47% larger purchases than non-nurtured leads. They also have more sales success. And that we also see in our business. We're big proponents of nurture campaigns, which we're going to, in a little bit, I'm going to show you my live database and how we do follow-ups on a routine basis using our marketing automation tool. And this is what we see ourselves in the way that we do our own sales. So first I have to talk about my, I guess I'm on a delay, Todd, on about our treasure triangle. And for those of you who have heard me talk about our treasure triangle before, this will be a good review. For those of you who are new to our e-marketing philosophy, this is a very important component of your crash course in marketing automation today. So what you can see is an inverted triangle, triangular shape, 3 points. There are 3 points to your e-marketing system. The top left is an email blast or a one-off promotion that's usually date and time sensitive. There's usually a deadline involved. So, buy this thing before Friday at noon and you'll get X off your purchase. Or announcing this new product that we have, unique to the world, nobody else has it. Whatever it is, something like that. A lot of times, that's actually what most people spend the most amount of their time on, is sending out blasts like that, which is, here's this new thing, buy this new thing, look at this new thing I have. That's the bulk of where people are spending time in the email marketing that you get in your inbox, and those are the ones that you can't stand, that you delete right away without even reading in most cases, because they're very specific about something you may or may not be interested in, usually not, because a very small percentage of people who are reading their inbox are interested in a particular thing, and it's an interruption. On the top right, we have an e-newsletter. Everybody knows what a newsletter is offline. It's the same thing online. Again, very me-focused. My products, my services, my employees, my trucks, my inventory, my special sale, my best customer, my best employee, all those kinds of things are me, me, me. They're all about me. They're important, don't get me wrong, those top 2 elements are important to an overall e-marketing program, but if you draw a line down across, splitting the top half from the bottom half of the triangle, the top half is all about me, but the bottom half, when you start getting into drip marketing, is the all about them, your customer, educating them on how to be a better buyer and having them perceive you as the subject matter expert in that particular industry, in that particular service that you provide. So it's very much about not selling and trying to provide value and doing it over time, so that if you could actually spend, let's say your sales cycle is 90 days. So some people may have a selling cycle that's a little bit less than that. Some people may have a selling cycle that's quite a bit more than that. We've worked with people who have had selling cycles that are up to 5 years long. So wherever you fall in that range, it's probably not likely that you're going to make a one-call close without that person having done a tremendous amount of research before they even get in contact with you. And then it's just a matter of luck. If it wasn't luck, those things would happen far more often, and they don't happen that often because people have to be nurtured along to get all their questions answered, to explore on their own and compare with the competition, and your unique advantage, your unique competitive edge is the ability to stay in contact and build a relationship even though you may not be eyeball to eyeball with them. And that's what marketing automation does, and that's where drip marketing comes into this this whole marketing automation process that we're going to talk about on this call. So the way that drip marketing works the best is in response to a business trigger. And what a business trigger is, here are some examples, and these are just 7. You can have a business trigger on hundreds of different things in your business, but these are the most common ones. Every day when you get up, you know certain things are going to happen in your business. You may just not know who they're going to happen with. But if you know that these things are going to happen, and especially number 4, we hope number 4 happens all the time. We actually hope that number 1 happens all the time as well. But number 1 and number 4, certainly that's the lifeblood of our business. If we know that those things are going to happen, we can put together an automated response that sounds very personalized for where that person is in the process of working with us. And it doesn't have to sound canned, and it doesn't have to be a big sales pitch. It would be as if you were talking to them on the phone or visiting with them in person, but instead of doing it that way, you're doing it through a drip marketing follow-up campaign. And the length of time that that nurture campaign lasts is going to be about the length of time it takes for you to close the average order, the average customer on your typical sales cycle. So if it's 3 months, if it's 5 years, your drip is going to last that long, so that over a period of time, people get to know you very well. I would say that most of you on the call today have known one of the 3 of us for a very long time. I'm looking at your names right now. Thank you all for being here. Those of you who are our fans, we appreciate it. But the reason that you're here is because we hopefully, in your eyes, continue to deliver value through the e-marketing programs that we have, through webinars like this, through emails that are being sent out with different things that we find out that we think are going to help you close more business. And we make an effort to do that every single day so that when we send something out, you don't say, oh, there's that diva girl again, delete button, but instead you say, oh, I wonder what she's got for me today. I always learn something. That's our goal anyway, and you can incorporate that into your business as well. So with these, that's about as much as I'm going to say about any one of these particular ones, but what I want to do now is, and here's another stat. When you can talk to the right person at the right time with the right message, your revenue and attention on the part of that customer goes up. And that's been proven in a lot of the research that's been done in the marketing automation industry. And what I want to do today is show you 3 perfect marketing automation scenarios that you can automate and your marketing scenarios that you can automate. So marketing automation. And I just picked 3 that, I don't know, they're sort of the most common, the most profitable, the most interesting things to show you. They're certainly not definitive of what marketing automation can do, but what I hope is by showing you these scenarios, you will have an idea that triggers in your own mind about how you can apply some of this to your business, or at least reach out to Stacia or me and explore a little bit more about how you can make this work in your company. Everybody thinks, oh, my business is unique, I can't, you know, that would never work for me. Okay, we have had every single kind of business in the world except for one, which I won't mention. If you're in that business, I don't want to scare you off, but if you are in that business, I will tell you that it may not work for you. But there's only one that it doesn't work as well for. Out of all of the hundreds of thousands of different kinds of businesses out there, we have had a lot of experience in making it work because everybody's looking for information before they buy something, and nobody wants to talk to you. So with that scenario as a setup, marketing automation is perfect. So I'm only half kidding. Okay, so I am going to have Todd assist me in a demo, and what we're going to be doing is showing you, I'm pulling back the curtain so that you can see into our underwear drawer. Stacia hates when I say that, but we're going to let you look into our database, which is a live database. So hopefully you won't recognize any names. We've tried to use scenarios that we've had good relationships with these contacts. So Todd just opened up our Hatchbuck sales and marketing database. It's our CRM. It's our marketing automation database. And in this first view, what you're seeing is in real time people who are interacting with something that we've done online. Either we've sent them an email, they visited our website. So this is all real time. If you look off to the right, you can see the time frame. Todd scrolled down because he and Stacia were both working on our website today, so that was tracking at the top, and you don't need to see that. But this is the interesting stuff. And the first thing that I want to talk about is daily tracking of sales correspondence. So how many times have you been on the phone with a new prospect who says, oh, that sounds really good, send me something. And then you have to stop what you're doing, go find the file that or the folder that you filed something, pull it out, try to customize the user experience to exactly what you talked about on the conversation. And all that's fine if you have time to do that, but when you're working at a really quick pace and you're doing the same thing over and over again, that is a prime target for automation. Because if you can do those things faster and track them on the back end without spending a lot of manual effort to do it, then you have time to go on and do something else. So we have that situation because we've been big proponents and cheerleaders for Hatchbuck over the last couple of years. We get a lot of people who say, well, can you send me something? Can you send me a link? Can you show me da 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 da? So we put all of those into an email. And Todd, if you will go to Stacia's email about Hatchbuck, so under Tools, and then Stacia's folder under the email. Oh, my screen's not refreshing. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at somewhere else. All right. So down below is the actual email that we send, and you can see in blue the links. And then towards the bottom is we actually guarantee success. If people work with us, we have a guarantee with everybody that we accept as a client for this kind of work, because it is a big investment. It's a big time investment. It's a big financial investment. So we believe so strongly that we know the right way to do it for your business that we guarantee our results. So we actually have a page on our website, if you want to click through, Todd, just to show. And we build this page into our drip marketing campaigns so that if somebody clicks through, then to us that means, okay, they're more than a little bit interested. They're actually reading our guarantee and how it works. So that gets some points. So Todd, go back to our email, And what we love about Hatchbuck is that we can not only track the links and the opens and the clicks like every other email program in the whole world, but down below we can set up actions every time somebody clicks on a link, custom actions for following up with their interest on that particular click. So on the performance guarantee, for example, down at the bottom, we have, I'm going to skip over the other one, we added a tag. A tag is like a code that says give them a tick mark if they click on the link and tag them with level of interest, but then also send a notification to the sales rep, or no, to Stacia, because everything goes to Stacia. I don't get to talk to anybody anymore. So everything goes to Stacia, and in the top part, we put a little note that so-and-so click the performance guarantee webpage, and so Stacia, you may want to follow up. So go ahead and cancel out of that. So those are just little itty-bitty follow-ups that normally either we wouldn't know from an email unless we logged into our email account and searched on that particular email and tried to figure out, kind of putting the, connecting the dots to see who clicked on that particular link, and then going back and looking them up in our database again, or we would see who it was, and then we would have to manually follow up and do something if we wanted to. That's been our experience with the way that most email service providers work. But with Hatchbuck, that information not only gets alerted automatically to Stacia through an email, but it will show up in our dashboard as in real time, so whenever that person does it. So every morning when we come in, we go back in our dashboard and we kind of look to see what happened overnight and, over the last couple of days. Did anybody sneak in that we didn't realize, had done something? But we're also being notified so that we don't forget to follow up if it's an important action. So this is scenario number one, and then Todd, you don't need to flip back, but scenario number two is, how do we track a new lead? How does marketing automation help us track a new lead coming into our world from someone we've never done business with, never have had a conversation with before? And I am going to turn that over to our VP of Business Development, Ms. Stacia, and let her tell you about a scenario that just happened pretty recently with one of our prospects.
Okay, Lori, which one are you going to pull up?
So Todd, go to Beth Ramsey. And I'm going to mute myself out till you're done, Stacia.
Okay. Okay, so in this particular case, what happened was that Beth was looking for someone to help her actually with Hatchbuck. We have people looking for all kinds of different services, but in this particular case, she was looking for help with Hatchbuck. She was using Infusionsoft, and it was too difficult for her, and she wanted to have a simpler program. So she had some people give her 3 different Hatchbuck consultants' names, and she went to the Hatchbuck website to find their phone numbers, and she just happened to see the database diva name, and she's a very positive woman's coach person, and so she loved the name. So she filled out the web form on our website that said, contact us, and she had also filled out the other 3 people's web form that said, contact us. But when she fills out a form, I automatically get emailed saying, someone has filled out the form. Todd, can you go down to the web form that she filled out at the bottom? And you can see what happened. So, okay, for the 10-minute brainstorm session. And I got an email saying she had filled it out. It gave me all of the information of what she had filled out on the form. So it's right there where it sent me an email. And I called her immediately because I got the notification. And I called and said, hey, Beth, I see that you just filled out this form. And she said, I cannot believe you just called me. I just filled out the form. I said, yes. She's like, how do you know that I filled out the form? I said, well, I got an email. And she said, that's what I want to be able to do. And I said, okay, well, did any of the other consultants that you contacted? She told me her story. And I said, did anybody else get back to you? And she said, no, nobody got back to you. And you were the last one I filled out a form on. And so I said, well, let's set up a time to talk. And we did. And 2 days later, when we spoke for a second time, I said, have any of those other competitors that you called gotten back to you? And she said, not one person responded to me, and you responded to me within 5 minutes. And when I called her, she said, you're the first one to call, so you get the business. And so we ended up helping her set up her Hatchbuck account, auditing the system, helping her set up drip marketing campaigns, doing consulting to help her know. A lot of times people can be trained on the system, but they don't know the strategy. They don't know what drips they should be doing. They don't know what emails they should be sending. And so we put together a program to help her do that. And she's a do-it-yourselfer. So some people say, okay, just meet with me every other week, tell me what to do, and I'll do it, give me homework, and then when I come back, tell me what to do the next time. And other people say, I don't have time to mess with this. I'm not a writer. I don't know what to write. Just write the drip, write the campaign, set it up in the system for me, and tell me when we're ready to launch. So we can do it either way, but that's just a perfect example. It happens every day. People fill out a form, I get an email, or people visit the website. Maybe it's a pricing page. That's an important page for us. And I get an email, I immediately call, and in those cases, people will take my phone call. Normally, people don't take my phone calls, but in those cases, it always works. So that was just a great example of how you can beat the competition. Lori? Hello. Unmute, Lori.
Yep, I'm here. Sorry, I was muted. Thanks, Saish. All right, that was great. Todd, I forgot to show the other thing I was going to show. I want to go back one step on the on Stacia's email that she sent out. I kind of showed the letter and the follow-up, but I wanted to show something specific. So can you go back to that email again? Yeah, okay. So we've got the actions. So in the top right corner, one of the really cool things is Hatchbuck, on practically every screen, it's giving you stats about what happened with this particular email. And this is only the last 7 days, and this is a new message that we've put together recently, so we don't have a lot of activity on it. But if we click on those 8 people who Stacia sent this letter to, it takes us to a page where not only can we get a very pretty little chart, but when you scroll down, I just wanted to show, I was talking earlier about how triggered emails have such a higher engagement rate, and I wanted to show some of that here. So 9 people got this letter Tuesday, September 29. We had a 66% open rate on that. We had a 44% click-through. Okay, now a good click-through rate and a respectable to high click-through rate is about 1 to 3%. So, you know, almost half the people that we sent the letter to click through on something. And this is an example of triggered marketing where you have an interaction that triggers something else to happen. So in this particular case, Stacia probably talked to these people and they asked for information. She sent the message, but not only did they click through because they asked for the information, but the actions also automatically triggered follow-ups and next steps. So Stacia mentioned something, which is why I wanted to show this, because if you look at some of the other ones, if you look at September 27, there's another 66%. We sent 3 on September 25th, but we had 100% open rate. These are all pretty typical of drip marketing message interaction. Now this was a one-off email, that's true, but one of the things that we can do is let's say that in that message we send you to our pricing page, which Stacia mentioned is one of our important website pages. We actually publish pricing on our website. You know, some people do, some people don't. We found it helps to be a little bit more transparent about that because that's what everybody wants to know, and then if they still call, they know what we're, you know, about what we charge for things. So that pricing page is pretty important for us. We call that a high value page. Well, once someone is in our database, we can now trigger a follow-up or a drip based on someone visiting that page. And that's very, very important, because if I didn't have that ability, then Stacia would have to do a lot more follow-up than she already does to find out what the story, why did you visit the page today? Especially for people who, we have people who visit that page 3, 4, 5 times. So if they're visiting it 4 times and they haven't bought yet, what does that say about their interest level? It's like they're thinking about it, they're crunching on it, they're trying to figure out how to do it. They're maybe not understanding what some of the services are and where they would fall with the pricing. But in any event, they are not at the top of the sales funnel anymore. They've moved down. They've moved down considerably. And by being able to have a marketing automation system in place, we can tell that without stalking them. We can tell that. And then that informs how the next way is that we're going to follow up with them. So we spend a lot of time analyzing what does behavior mean and what should the next step be in approaching them, because I really don't want anyone working in the company, including myself, to take their time to call up and say, are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? Are you ready yet? That's traditional old school selling, and that's not what this is. This is a way to give people information more than they knew that they wanted to know, but keep them reading, keep them coming back for more, keep them clicking through on the website to download more things that we're giving them in order to help them make the decision that we are the right company or that you are the right company. Okay, so my third example, Todd, is, let's do Bonnie. And the third one is lead to sale tracking, showing you what lead to sale tracking looks like. And I picked this example of this particular customer. She's actually been a customer for over a year now. I don't know what her actual official date was because we brought her over from our other system, but her record in HashBuck was created in August of last year, so at least a year that she's been in our database doing business with us. Now you'll notice that she has a very low score, and that's because she hasn't really been doing anything recently. There's not anything that we're helping her with currently, but she's an example of someone who has come back and come back and come back for different things over the last year. And Todd, if you scroll down, kind of go back a couple of months if you can. Okay, that's good. So here's February of this year, and you'll see the way that you read this is it's kind of like the newer stuff is at the top and the older stuff is at the bottom. So on Wednesday, February 25th, for example, we sent out an email. We were doing SwiftPage webinar trainings for a good part of the first part of this year. So we would send out an email and she would open it. Excuse me just a second. And then we would send out another email and then she would open it. So even though we're not talking to her, we can see in between sales opportunities with her the kinds of things that she's interested in. So on March 12 and on March, what is that, 9? March 9 and, no, I'm going down, sorry. March 9 and March 12. We sent an email. She didn't open it. Maybe she was out of town, maybe she was busy, it doesn't matter. For whatever reason, she wasn't interested, she didn't open it, not a whole lot going on, but for the most part, as we go through her record, we can tell that she has not opted out and she's not just letting the messages sit in her inbox. And I can tell you personally, because she's a very good client of ours, a frequent client of ours, that I take calls from her probably a couple of times a month. So we like when people call us even when they're not buying anything. If they are asking questions, that means that they're eager to learn more about marketing their company, and those conversations eventually will lead to business for us. So not only is she connected with us through the e-marketing that we're doing, but we're also having voice-to-voice conversations with her as well. So we can tell that very easily through our marketing automation tool. And if she goes to, can you find anything where she's like submitted a form or visited a web page or anything like that. Can't remember if I saw one for her. But if she did, it would be listed on here as well. And we try to send out a lot of cheat sheets throughout the year that are free to download off of our website. And then we monitor, of course, monitor the follow-up on that. And that's a way that we get a good lead as well. So one of the things I wanted to show, and you guys are welcome to take advantage of this as well. Todd, let's go to our homepage on our website. I just want to show you the mechanics of how something like this works. So here's our homepage, and we have an offer in blue on the bottom right of the first box, get a free drip marketing blueprint. We actually sell these on our website. Most of them are about $77, but we offer one for free, and it's amazing. We still take sales from people who don't see this and they buy it, which we're fine with that as well if you want to give us money. But you can get this one for free, and we just updated it, so I would encourage everyone on the call to go and download it. And yes, you will be tracked in our database, and yes, Stacia probably will call you, but it's still really good information, and it's sort of a free drip marketing campaign that you can put into any system. So you can see how we do it, and as I was updating it, I said to Stacia, wow, these are really good. So they're really active messages that we use and that we're sharing. But when you fill out the form, that form on the right is a Hatchbuck form, and we ask some qualifying questions. We do ask for a lot of information because we're giving something away for free. There's a lot of marketing strategy that says we'll just ask for the bare minimum, but we do that for people who sign up for our newsletter. We only ask for an email address and a first name, but when we're giving away something that we charge for on our site, we expect all full, complete information, and we get it. So it works out for both sides. So once this form is filled out and submitted, so Todd, let's go back into Hatchbuck and let's go find that form. So you can see we have a lot of forms on our site already, and that's one of our secrets, by the way, is the more forms you have on your website, the more leads you're going to get. And so here's the form down below that you just saw on the home page. This is what it looks like inside of our system. And again, down at the bottom, there are all of the actions that we have connected to someone filling out that form. So there's a level of interest tick mark, they get an autoresponder, they actually get tagged that they requested our blueprint. So we have a way of knowing very easily how to look up everybody who did that. We also tag them, we start them on a drip marketing campaign, and I'll show you that in a minute. We update a custom field within the database that says that they downloaded it, and we send a notification to the salesperson that a blueprint was downloaded, and that's how Stacia knew to follow up right away with Beth, because she got notified because of this action tied to the form. Okay, so when we start the campaign, so Todd, let's go find our drip marketing blueprint drip campaign. All right, so we have currently, scroll down a little bit more for me, a drip campaign that goes about 3 months, and that's a pretty good timeline for us in terms of we usually close our deals faster than 3 months, but it's a little bit extra for good measure. But at the end, you can see the other thing that we can do is send a notification to the salesperson that the drip for that prospect has now ended. So if we want to manually place them on another drip campaign, we can, or if we want to follow up with them after 3 months of getting our emails and they haven't responded yet, we know that the drip is coming to an end and they probably need a follow-up. And we also create a task so that if it can't happen on that day, it's not forgotten. So this is what the drip campaign looks like, and it's really amazing that this is just one kind of a marketing automation campaign tied to a trigger, the trigger being a website lead. It's just one, but there are hundreds in a business. We haven't even done all the ones that we could do. There are so many more that Stacia wants me to do, that I want to do. It was like you get ideas every day when you start having this kind of feedback coming back of what you could do. But currently, we have 8 drip campaigns running, and then we have a whole host of triggered events. So if this happens, then do this, that we've also set up, so that I would say we're probably 80 to 85% complete with the way that I think it's important to follow up with all of the people that come into our world considering doing business with us. That's a pretty high level. I don't think we'll ever be to 100% because there's always one more thing you can do. Just like in life, just like in business, you're never done. And even if you were done, then you should probably go back and update old ones that may not make as much sense anymore. Especially in our case, we've had a dramatic change in our business over the last couple of years and representing new products and services, so we did have to go back in and change a lot of stuff. So it's the nature of the game. Nothing stays the same, but this is how, hopefully, this is a help in understanding your crash course in marketing automation and how to get from here to there so that you can easily manage and generate new leads and sales coming into your business. So Todd, if you can go back to our slide deck for a minute. And there are the 3, actually 4 perfect marketing automation scenarios that we just did. Can I move forward now? So we have an offer for you. You can schedule a lead generation assessment for your own company, totally free. It's a 30-minute one-on-one. We'll dig into your website. We'll look at your CRM if you want us to read some emails, and we'll give you real, valuable, strategic advice and direction during that 30 minutes. We'll make some recommendations. You can ask us any questions. It's totally a helping thing. You can go to this URL here, which we will send out to you in the follow-up to this webinar, or you can call Stacia directly. And now I feel like I've been talking for an hour, which has almost been an hour. So if anyone has any questions, please post them now. And Stacia, if there's anything else that you would like to add, feel free to jump in. And Desiree, thank you so much for the super nice compliment that you gave. Desiree says she's a super fan and she always gets great information, so thank you for that. Todd, anything you want to add? Did I forget anything?
No, I don't think so. I think that was pretty good.
Okay, so somebody has to ask a question because I always get nervous if we don't even get one question. How many of you are doing this now? If you are, just put yes in the chat box, and let me see out of everyone on the call how many yeses we get. Oh, yay. Yay, Liz. Yay, Vince. All right, you guys are great to give us some time today. Oh, well, we have a question. What other lead automation sites have you used before? Do you mean software? Do we think that Kevin means what other software? Lead automation software? Kevin, yes. Okay. That's a very good question. We've used 2 ourselves. Actually, no, we've used more than that. We've used 4 ourselves over a period of time. But we've used a lot more in conjunction with working with our other clients because everybody has something different. And so Todd learns everything super quick, and we've mastered all of the big ones and some of the minor ones, but I would say we've probably investigated at least 35 to 50 CRM combined marketing automation systems in the last 4 years. It's very difficult to find one that is affordable and will do enough. And that was one of the things that we really appreciated about the way that Hatchbuck got put together. Hatchbuck is not perfect by any sense of the equation, but it is very affordable and powerful for what it does for the money. So Kevin says he's not using SwiftPage. How important? Oh no, that's a different question. Sorry. But no longer use SwiftPage. Yep. So if you only use a CRM, that's why I'm saying you can connect most CRMs to most email service providers pretty easily. So whether it's Constant Contact, MailChimp, any of a number of other ones, but you're not going to get the 360-degree view of what is going on when you're not looking, when you're not initiating. So the thing about CRM is that you have to initiate everything. Nothing happens automatically. Even if you have workflows set up, only those things that you set up are happening, not the things that are more on the fly, unscheduled, unstructured, that your customer or prospect may be doing to interact with you. And that's where marketing automation comes in. Marketing automation picks up those signals, and those signals can then be redirected. So that's what we like about it. And Kevin, I suggest you sign up for your lead generation assessment, and we can go into more detail. Vin says, how important is content versus look in terms of drip marketing results? Oh, I love that question. Thank you, Vince. Okay, this is my philosophy. You have to test it, but my philosophy is that you want your drip marketing to look like you sat down at Outlook or at Gmail and you hand wrote a message. You don't want it to have a lot of graphics. Graphics in email means somebody trying to sell you something. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. It can be the most beautiful 10-course meal of a restaurant, but if they're sending it to you, they want you to come eat dinner at the restaurant. They're trying to sell you something. And everybody knows that innately, so the plainer, the most boring gets better results. Now, the only thing that I have found that works better than a plain, boring text for increasing open rates is to put a video picture with click-through to a video on it. People will click on videos, and hence the rise of YouTube and YouTube advertising. So YouTube's any kind of a video that can boost everything up, but you still want it to be as boring and plain as possible. Thank you for that question, Vince. I have to fight with a lot of people on that one.
Well, and I think, Lori, people get confused. They think they're doing drip marketing when they're actually doing one-off email blasts, or if they're doing newsletters. So just like you said, you take the triangle and divide it in half. If you're doing an email blast or you're doing a newsletter, like Lori said, it's about you. You can put your logo, you can put color, you can put graphics, you can put photos. That's a different thing. But if you're doing drip marketing and setting up a series of messages over a period of time, they need to be really ugly, really ugly. So it's just a difference between the top of the triangle and the bottom of the triangle.
Okay, Kevin says, so this will help with organic interaction and response. Yep, that's exactly right. So one of the things when we used to be a SwiftPage user and trainer, you could get your open and click-throughs, you could get a call report, you could see, you know, X% of the people that you sent to opened it, X% clicked on this link, oh, here's person ABC who clicked on this link, and that's great. But let's say that 30, 60, 90 days later, somebody finds that email in their inbox and comes back, and now, or maybe they saved it purposefully. They saved it, and now they're ready to act on it, and they come back that period of time later and start clicking on those links. Unless you are, you know, every day you come in and you look in your template library and you search the results on, in our case, we had close to 500 templates after 10 years of using SwiftPage, and you go through every single result one by one by one for every template, you would never know that that person came back 30, 60, 90 days after that email got sent out. So it was still tracking. Actually, after 60 days, SwiftPage didn't even track anymore. They just stopped tracking after 60 days. So if anybody came back later, too bad. Too bad, so sad. But in our case with our database, there's no limit. So somebody can come back a year later, and if they dropped off our radar for whatever reason, God forbid that we stopped putting them on drip campaigns, but if we did and they came back a year later and found that old email and clicked on it, and it was a link that we had put, send a notification to Stacia, she would be instantly notified even though that email went out a year ago. That's pretty powerful stuff. So I don't see any more questions. Those were all good ones. And thank you all again. If you have any questions, reach out to Stacia or me, or better yet, sign up for the lead generation assessment so we can help. And we'll see you on the next one.